Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to World of Tanks with yours truly. And today we are taking a look at a couple of higher tier medium tank games. Now, I have shown both of these vehicles in the past. I have owned both of these vehicles, past tense in one case. But each of these replays has a slightly different flavour to it. Kicking off with, and both of these are from subscribers, by the way. What? Apparently, because they have a different flavour, they might be tasty. Why do I live with this person again? Never mind. Kicking off with Dampney. I seem to have shown a lot of his replays lately, but he does seem to like sending in slightly odd replays, because as ever, he is driving a tank. Well done, he's driving a tank. But it is not fully upgraded. And so here we have the Type 61, the Tier 9 Japanese medium tank, but he is using the 90mm gun from the STA-1. Not a bad gun, but not the big gun. I must confess, it makes the grind on the Type 61 not too bad, although even when fully upgraded, the Type 61 isn't exactly amazing. Whoa, that was a bounce. You don't see that too often in this tank. Both of these tanks, they also have something else in common. They sort of have a similar kind of design philosophy. They're both sort of gun depression based, Western, quote unquote. I know Japan isn't necessarily what you consider a Western country, but politically speaking, quote unquote Western post-war tinky tonks. So yeah, Dampney initially has come over to the 9 and 0 lines here on the steps. Booyah, Matt. And he has quickly decided that discretion is the better part of valor. He doesn't really want to be tanking these guys in a machine with no armor. But now he seems to have some support in the form of this Bat Chat. Worth pointing out as well, he is not just going to be spamming premium ammunition everywhere, because he only carries 5 rounds of it, and 5 rounds of 90mm premium ammunition ain't going to go far. And this is a tier 10 match. He is not top tier. Ooh, nice lucky little shot there to penetrate that ho-ho. But now he's got the guy's sides. Batchat goes around the other side, and this ho-ho is screwed. There we go. He is it. No, oh-ho, not ho-ho. Oh dear. Yes, shut up with the Pokemon references. Oh dear. But yeah, that guy's dead, which is nice. 2-0. Friendly team are up, which I must confess lately is a bit of a novelty. The last couple of weeks when I've been trying to play World of Tanks, the teams have been abysmal, and it has been incredibly difficult to achieve anything. It's rare that I get streaks like that, so I've switched to warships in which the teams are abysmal and it's been very difficult to achieve anything. Go figure. Streaks is in like a losing streak. It happens, not to be confused with people kind of flashing their naughty parts, but yes, I just used the phrase naughty parts. Anyway, getting back on topic, looks like one of the enemy tanks here is AFK. This Object 140 is getting wrecked. Can Dampney pick up the kill here? He doesn't need to go for the tracking shot anymore, so he goes for the easier side shot and actually gets an ammo rack for a mighty 119 damage. Japanese tanks OP, please nerf. Nice shot on the move there, especially considering the dispersion values are not particularly great here, but even so, we will take it. And Dampney is now up to almost 2,000 damage done with this stock 90mm gun, firing basically, well, all armor piercing. He hasn't touched his 5 heat rounds yet, and he hasn't fired his high explosive either. Trying a shot there on the Bat Chat that may even have hit. Who'da thunk? But, well, we'll find out later, perhaps, if Dampney actually hit that shot or not. Goes for a shot on the T-25 pilot at long range. That one also hits. He's getting a nice run of the dice here. Scoreline is 7-3. Friendly team is managing to win this relatively convincingly, 8-3. So I imagine the second half of this game, what we're probably going to see is Dampney kind of farming up the damage here. Most of the, well, I say most, 3 tier 10 tanks on each team, and 2 of the enemy tier 10s are dead already. One, of course, was AFK, so that definitely helps out Dampney there. And he's actually loaded a high explosive round to wreck this poor Seago. 2 nice HE rounds, doing, I think it's 320 average damage per shot there instead of the 240 the AP would do. But he's regretting switching back to the armor piercing now. Looks like the waffle thrower's gone off early. He. Insert joke here. And Dampney is just shooting these waffles up with the high explosive rounds. He's got one more HE round. He might take a hit here from the T10, switches back to the armor piercing, does take a hit from the T10, goes for the lower plate, and is rewarded with damage, and by the look of it, tracking as well. Another shot through the lower plate of the T10 there. Dampney can take another hit here if necessary. Oh, that was a lucky one. Not really fully aimed, but still through the guy's cupola, I think that was. And now seeing, can he finish off that T10? Oh, bounced there. Oh, and another Borsig. Good lord, they're multiplying. Batchat 25T. Oh, side of the turret on the T10. Yes, thank you very much. Batchat 25T. Put a shot into him. And we're up to over 4,000 damage now, by the way. And there's the killing shot. Take out the Batchat. Tier 9 waffle thrower over yonder. Puts an AP round in. Loading the high explosive. There we go. The guy's on 25 health. The guy is dead. And that is the match. Holy mother of God. That was a bit of a frantic one at the end there. Didn't take too long, but let's see how well Dampney was able to do in that match. Here we go then, this was Dampney's game. Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Demolitionist of course for that unnecessary ammo rack, fire for effect. A Lavashlio's medal, destroy 2 enemy tanks or tank destroyers with a medium tank, and they have to be 1 tier higher than you. And a high caliber, nicely done. 5,700 damage, 3 kills, 1,396 base experience. Good use of high explosive against those squishy German tank destroyers there as well, even if he was using the 90mm gun. 31 shots fired, 26 hits, 23 pens. You can't expect that sort of accuracy all the time with that gun. Dampney did get a little bit lucky there, but he also played it well. All that done in just under 6 minutes, which is very impressive indeed. So, let's go and have a look at our second replay of the day. Second replay then, and we join Sunman22 in the M48 Patton Tier 10 American medium tank. Now, I have shown this vehicle before. I own it. I've had it for a little while. Well, this is from the test server. And you can see here, this is with the shiny new turret with the rather reduced weak spot on top. And apparently, Sunman's is called Betty. Go figure. You may also notice, I don't think I've shown one of these before. This is a grand battle. So, the map is bigger, but to compensate, you have more players. So, in reality, it doesn't actually feel really any more spacious than a regular random battle, and I'm not a massive fan of the grand battles at the moment. The game mode I really liked, the one where you're assaulting the beaches on Normandy, Wargaming, well, I've not seen anything from in months. I really want Wargaming to implement that, because that was a lot of fun. This, I'm just like, meh. It's another... Anyway, let's not talk too much about that. While I own the Patton, I haven't actually played it really since it got changed. I've had maybe 2 matches in it. And I haven't actually played that many battles in, well, grand battles either, to be fair. So there's that's probably worth bearing in mind. Sunman here seems to have got himself into a reasonably decent position. Since the buffs, the M48 Patton is a pretty respectable hull-down beastie. And I should point out, this is taken from, I think it's the 920 test server. Yeah, Sunman trying to look for a shot there, but it ain't going to work. HE would have done the job. APCR not so much. So as this is from the test servers, I'm not sure if we're going to see any replay bugs or anything like that. You're going to need that HE, Sunman, or aim for his little cupola thing on top, or put a shot through his side armor. That works too. So yeah, so far the friendly team have managed to take the hill up here. Oh, good lord. That FV just got obliterated by an enemy Death Star. Good God. And the guys are fighting up here on the hill. The problem with fighting up here on the hill, as that FV just demonstrated, is that you are sometimes exposed, rather, to the enemy tank destroyers, who can do a considerable amount of wrecking, especially if you're not too careful. So, Sunman, hello, Mr. E50M, and that was a shot into his tracks. I find the M48 Patton's gun, I must confess, to be deeply underwhelming. It's not a very reliable weapon. Can we kill the Batchat? Yes, we can. There we go. Batchat dead. But Sunman takes a shot in the bum from one of those camping tank destroyers, and shot in the face from a T-100 LT, who is, of course, firing gold, as is the Stridsvagn 103B, because, what, 310mm of penetration, or whatever the hell that tank gets with its regular ammo, apparently isn't enough. I think if you find that that isn't enough penetration, I mean, God help you, but never mind. New tier 10 Chinese tank destroyer over there. Haven't seen too many of those, but there we go. 113, or the WZ-113 GFT. Bit of a mouthful. And Sunman is able to put a shot into him. So far, to be honest, this game hasn't been that spectacular. I don't think Sunman would particularly mind me saying that. Now the friendly, this is a bit of an interesting scenario, because in the grand battles you get given slightly different information to what you get given in regular battles. You still get given like kill counts and whatnot, but you also get given the amount of HP left on each team as a percentage. So you can see that the friendly team, for example, hello Mr. Gorilla, the friendly team are 11 kills to 9, now 11 to 10 better off, but the enemy team actually had more hit points left. So the kill lead that the friendly team had is being eaten into because it means a number of the friendly tanks are low health, as they have 41% of their team's hit points remaining, and the enemy team is on, well, basically 50%. Side of the turret on the mouse, nice one. Sunman here has a good angle to be shooting down onto the mouse, where the angling of that turret isn't so much of an issue. Unfortunately, since that tank was buffed, you can no longer put APCR rounds, like regular ammunition from tier 10 medium tanks, through the turret cheeks. If you want to achieve that, you have to switch to premium ammo, so Sunman's shot there into the turret cheek does not, unfortunately, work. Friendly team have managed to pick up a couple more kills, leaving the scoreline 14-12, though they are still down in terms of hit points. Another shot there into that WZ. Ooh, that's not really a very good shot on the mouse, but that is a good shot on that Chinese tank destroyer, taking that guy out. Scoreline is 15-13, but remember, grand battles, you have twice the number of players. There are 30 players on each team rather than 10, so that scoreline is entirely possible and the game won't be over yet. Oh, Sunman pretty sure could have had a blind shot there on that gorilla, but unfortunately he just moved, so it's not going to work. But he is able to put a shot into that relatively new tier 10 Chinese heavy tank, the WZ-111-5A. Looks like a pretty decent tank. I'm still going for the 113 first, but I mean, let's be honest, from the WZ-111-1-4 you unlock 2 tier 10 tanks, so you might as well go for both. Side armour of the Death Star here, 347 damage roll, none too shabby, although you really don't want a Death Star pointing at you regardless of what tank you're in. And Sunman might be going for a shot on the tank behind him. Yeah, decides to relocate in order to get better shots on that gorilla. Should take 2 rounds to kill the guy. There's also a Sheridan over there. And goes for the blind shot. No joy. The fully aimed accuracy on this gun is deeply mediocre. Shot there on the gorilla. No dice. Although the gorilla appears to be tracked. Oh, and he's actually dead. Sheridan, can we clear up the Sheridan? No, doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So, Sunman, still considering his options. He's spent a lot of the game up here on this hill and made good use of it, to be fair. The pattern gets pretty respectable gun depression, so that can definitely work in your favour. And Sunman has been, as I say, using this position to good effect. Can we finally kill that Sheridan? No, of course we can't. We're going to bounce on a light tank, because why wouldn't you? Go figure. Like I say, he has been making good use of this position, though I don't think he's going to be able to stay up here forever. I mean, he's managed to kind of snipe, well, snipe is perhaps the wrong word, but lend supporting fire to his team and claw his damage count up to around about 4,500 and pick up 4 kills into the bargain, which is pretty nice. But he's just running out of targets. He's going to have to get down there and dirty at this rate. IS-4 is over toward the town, but the stuff between the two of them. Stridsvagn, stuff between the two of them. There's the FV215B, not to be confused with the Death Star, of course. Although now both tanks have been removed as the regular Tier 10 British tanks, so now there's no 215B, at least in the regular tech tree, but never mind. And some man just waiting this out. It would be quite nice. Ooh, there goes the Stridsvagn. Nicely done, artillery. Good shot. It would be quite nice to go in and see if he can take out that IS-4. Oh, friendly Sheridan overturned their vehicle. Great. I mean, judging by the hit points left on the enemy team, most of these guys are going to be relatively low health, but as it is, the IS-4 decides to poke out, and Sunman is able to punish him with a shot through his side armour. And of course, two of the remaining enemy tanks are artillery. Ooh, and speaking of artillery, the friendly artillery finishes off that IS-4. Now, even though the two teams have relatively low hit points, there is still a full health Tier 10 on the enemy team in the shape of that FV215B. He will be hoarding most of the hit points on the enemy team. Now, why do we think that is? Well, don't know for sure, but given the guy doesn't have a kill yet, and he's on full health, I'm willing to bet he hasn't taken that much of an active part in the battle so far. I could be wrong, happy to be proven wrong, but that would be my best guess in this scenario. Remembering, of course, that this is the test server, it's not split down, strictly speaking, into EU, RU, etc. It's why Sunman has got an EU after his name. It denotes what server he properly plays on. But you do have Russian players here. For example, C4J over there is from the RU server. So we are getting some Cyrillic turn up in chat. Yeah, test server, go figure. And interestingly, for the test server, if you actually have a look at the ammunition people have fired at Sunman, not every shot has been gold. Hallelujah. God save the king and all that. But now the FV215B has been spotted. Friendly IS-7 nearby. Which way is this guy looking? The wrong way. Sunman's going for the flank. I'll be honest here, given the rate of fire on the FV215B, given the hit point advantage this guy has, I would personally have just poked out for the tracking shot, but not flanked around. How that FV hasn't killed the IS-7 yet, I do not know. Just put a shot through the guy's lower front plate. Some man going for the tracking shot there, but not quite rewarded with it. And, oh, finally the IS-7 goes down, but it cost the FV all of his 2,500 hit points. Not really sure how he managed to guff that up quite so badly. What he needed to do was just put a shot through the lower front plate of the IS-7. Doesn't need any fancy ammunition for that. AP would do the job, and then just deal with Sunman. But, you know, I say it as if it's trivially easy. I mean, these things happen. Maybe he tried and his shot flubbed and RNG messed him up or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? I don't want to be too harsh on the guy. Nonetheless, that does mean the scorelines are currently tied at 26-26. A friendly team now has the advantage in terms of hit points. Of the tanks left on the enemy team, 2 of them are TDs, 2 of them are artillery, and on the friendly team, 2 of them are artillery, and we have a TD and the pattern here. So it looks like it's going to be, what, is that the Chinese Tier 10? Yes, it is. And oh, hello, Mr. Artillery, how are you today? Let's see if the friendly artillery is on the ball. And wait, and apparently be disappointed. Nope. Well, at least one of the friendly artillery saying he was pre-aiming at the tank destroyer that's no longer there. Some man doesn't pull the trigger there, but he is unfortunately still spotted, so he does have to play this rather carefully. It'd be a massive shame now if he ate a 155mm shell to the face. In fact, he eats 2 of them. Okay, technically a 152 and a 155mm shell. And suddenly Sunman is left on 61 hit points, although he does get some assistance damage on that tank destroyer as the artillery was paying attention. Ooh, attention. More gold, of course, being fired in Sunman's general direction. I mean, this is the test server, bear in mind. Lots of players just get into Tier 10 because you're given a lot of credits and gold to work with. Get into Tier 10, double tap 2, and just spam gold at everything. Fosh is asking about... Fosh has full health? Blimey. Fosh is asking about the Gorilla's hit points. He's a one-shot, so yeah, that's quite nice. Foch B over there, I mean, he's in a tank destroyer, maybe he's been camping bush. Again, not going to be too harsh on him. Sunman here trying to do something. Oh, the Griller isn't a one-shot. My apologies, he was a two-shot. But he's dead either way. Artillery is running like the skullduggery little monkeys that they are. I was getting confused with the WZ, who's a one-shot, of course. But neither of those two tanks, the Griller nor the Batchat, are able to outrun the Foch's 120mm boomstick. T92 HMC is still going. In fact, it's the last guy left on the enemy team, if I actually bother reading the scoreline correctly. And if they can find this guy and kill him, that will be the match, which will be fairly nice. So, just trying to look out for him. Come on, you little... I was about to say scum sucker, but that's not very nice. Then again, it's a T92, I mean, go figure. Come on, matey whale chum. Come on. Where have you scuttled off to? Now, this guy has 500 hit points. He's not going to be a one-shot for Sunman's 105mm gun here, although if Sunman loads HE, he could take him out in one shot. So here, I must admit, I would be loading the high explosive round, and then you can always load an AP round to finish him off. As it is, Sunman actually gets taken down by that T92, although the friendly T92 is able to kill the enemy T92, and that's all bad. And we finish off the game on the test server with a regular HE round, no more gold. Hurrah. So let's go and have a look at the post-game stats for this one. So, Ace, Tanker, Spotter, Bruiser, Fighter, Fire for Effect, and a Confederate medal there for Sunman 22. Nicely done. 7,036 damage done, 5 kills, 1,413 base experience. Top of his team, bearing in mind that's a team of 30, hence the team list goes on for a little while. If we have a look at the post-game stats, 29 shots fired, 25 hits, 21 pens for that damage count. Most of the damage was from relatively close range. 7 hits received, 6 penned, or 1 did not. 2 from splash damage, 390 damage blocked by his armor. Most of the armor on the pattern is on the front of the turret. And Sunman didn't spend a lot of that game hull down, so you can't be too surprised that he didn't bounce that much. 5 enemy vehicles spotted, 13 damaged, 5 destroyed. Not too often you say those numbers. 2.6k assisted and 3.6 kilometers travelled. The match lasted a shade under 14 minutes, and that ended up being enough for a pretty modest 12,000 credit profit, though worth pointing out it looks like Sunman was refilling his consumables using gold. Remember, this is the test server, you're just given a shed ton of credits and gold to use, so yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily pay too much attention to how meaningful that credit result is. Nonetheless, nice game there, and I hope you enjoyed that pair of games looking at some higher tier medium tanks. Hopefully I'm going to get back into my pattern at some point. I do need to play some more tier 10 games, because what I have a habit of doing is grinding all the way up to tier 10, buying the tier 10, and then going back and grinding all the way up another line, and I'm like, well, I just put all this effort into getting this tier 10, I should probably actually play it. Go figure. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that pair of replays. If you feel that you would like to submit your own replay to yours truly, then by all means upload it to whatreplays.com, send me the link in a PM on YouTube, and I shall take a butcher's. It doesn't have to be some amazing ace tank game or something like that. It can just be something entertaining, or showing a vehicle that we've not seen before, or perhaps it's a driver we've not seen before. Plenty of reasons to see if we can get your game showcased. So yes, if you want to do that, PM YouTube with the linky from whatreplays.com. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, by all means feel free to catch some of my others and or subscribe to my channel, and as ever I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.